How's it, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Liam, this is Bob, and you're watching Outdoors with Liam. So in today's video, we have my truck. This is a 2003 Toyota Tacoma pre-runner with a 3.4 V6 extended cab. And we have been working on this for the past almost 3 years at this point, on getting it to be the perfect budget overland build. And at this point in time, it is no longer a budget overland build. We have spent more money on it than what would be a budget overland build. So it is no longer a budget overland build. I am saying forget the budget part. Well, it's going to be my budget, whatever money I have, but it's going to be my overland build. It's just going to be the best one it can be. I'm just not going to make it cheap looking. So, we're just going to do kind of a walkthrough of everything we've done in the past 2 years, and then go into what I plan to do in the future. So first, we got this back in the summer of 22 in Punta Gorda, Florida, while we were on our way to the Irish pub. And so we got this in honor of my uncle, Craig Vandenberg, whose nickname was always Feets growing up because he had big feet. And so honorary name, this truck is called Feets because it had nice tires when we first bought it. The rims, not so much, they're just the stock Toyota Steelies, but the tires were nice. So when we bought it, we got, what did we all do when we first got it? I didn't do much because we had to go back to California pretty much right after. But what did you do when you first?
Well, while you were there, we fitted the new radio. That's
right. You and I did the new radio. We just got, it was at Walmart, but it was a $50 singled-in radio.
No, it was actually close to $90.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I forget what brand. We'll look at it in a minute. But we did the radio, just a singled-in. Has a CD player, Bluetooth, and a USB MP3 player. We also did the WeatherTech mats. Uncle Richard, our neighbor across the street in Florida, got me some WeatherTech mats for the front. Obviously, since this doesn't have a back seat, there are no rear floor mats that you can buy for a extended cab to Tacoma. But I do have front WeatherTech mats. And then because you needed bed storage for your trip, you got the tonneau cover.
Yeah.
And then we also got tube steps because it was raised 6 inches when we first bought it. So you needed some steps to help you get in, even though they never really actually helped.
No. That was a bit tall for me.
Yeah. So other than that, I think that was the only two that you did after we left.
Yeah.
Were the tonneau cover and the tube steps, which both of them I've taken off now in preparation for some new things. So when we first bought it, I'll start with what it already had when we first bought it. It had a rough country 6-inch lift in the front, block lift, with the drop frames, 6-inch drop frames, and a 1-inch block in the back. So it was squatted when we bought it, which I fixed relatively quickly after it got back to California, after we got to this house, which happened it was about a year after the truck got
It's
here
about a year.
was when we got the blocks finally leveled in the rear. It also has rock lights in all the wheel wells and underneath the frame of the truck, which I'll show you turned on in just a minute. Other than that, it also had a bullet antenna, but that was painted a sparkling bright blue. It also had kind of a 6-inch strip of shading in the top that we removed very quickly after it got here, probably within the first 3 weeks, because when I sit here, as you'll see when I get in, my eye level is right there. My head almost touches the ceiling in this thing. It's a very small truck. I'm a very big guy, so I don't have much clearance. I use maybe the top third of the windshield for my line of sight. Sorry about the noise in the back. Somebody's doing some gardening down the street. I don't know if you can hear it because I have a up-close audio system here, but if there's any distortion, it's over there. Other than that, I think off-road tires, they were not oversized. They were still the 31-inch, which comes stock on the pre-runner. The 29s are stock for the non-pre-runner editions of the truck, but the 31s are stock for the pre-runners. I think that is everything that was done to it. If I find something else, I'll also let you know when we get to it, but as far as I can see and think right now, that's all that was done when we bought it. The first thing that I did to it myself was these amber lights in the grill here, which are just for looks. If anybody tells you differently who owns it, well, on a Tacoma and smaller trucks, they're just for looks. On larger vehicles like semi-trucks and wide full-size trucks, they are legally required because of the width of the truck to be on at night, to signal to other cars that they're there. However, for Tacomas, they're just looks. They're meant to be, they're called quote-unquote Raptor lights because the Ford Raptor was the first truck to come out with them, and they look freaking sweet on the Raptor, so they look awesome on the Tacoma too. Pretty much any lighting that is done to trucks, they're named after wherever they originated. Like Baja lights are obviously, there's two different types of Baja lights. Baja Designs being a brand, but Baja lights in general being used in the Baja races. Oh, that's low. Sorry, autism. Okay, where were we? Next, I think I put on, maybe the snorkel was next. That was definitely the first big project that we did to it. The one that required actual work. That, all the lighting is just wiring. It's really easy to do. But the snorkel, we had to cut out a hole in the side of the truck, which for me wasn't a big deal because it's a old truck and I think it looks way better with the snorkel, and it'll function really well when it comes to river crossings. Some people really don't like the look of the snorkels. They call them dorkels, but I think they're cool, and they serve a really good purpose for if you're actually going to be doing river crossings. If you're just needing a rock crawler, I don't recommend getting a Toyota at all because they have IFS. I recommend a solid front axle if you're doing rock crawling. But if you want a Toyota that you convert to solid front, then you don't really need a snorkel. But if you're going to be doing overlanding where you're going to be crossing rivers, you're going to want a snorkel. even if you don't have the typical scoop frame, you have the solid head. But a snorkel is imperative for if you're going to be doing any crossings over 2 feet of water. I also put on these right here. These are my ditch lights, is what we call them. They sit up here. We custom made these mounts just out of pieces of 1-inch metal steel, mild steel that we got from Home Depot that we had laying around. And these I just got from O'Reilly's. I think they were like $30 or $40 for the set of 2. So they're not super expensive. They're not Baja or rigid lights. They're just, what is it? Envision, the O'Reilly's kind of brand of lights. Also from O'Reilly. Oh, sorry. These were, I believe, not in a set. These were individuals. So these were actually like $20 or $30 each. These were the set, the front 2. That those were like $40 or $50 for the set. These are whites and amber. You just flick the switch on for whites, then you do it off and on again for your ambers, which I'll show you also in a minute. LEDs for all the major lights, just Amazon ones, so they were like $30 for a set of LED headlights, which I didn't know how good they were going to be when I bought them, but I bought them over a year ago and they're still functioning just fine. To be fair, I haven't gone on any real off-road trips where I've been hitting very rough and bumpy terrain that would cause the lights to fail, but still, it's they've been holding up just fine. And honestly, for $30, even if it does fail, who cares? I'll just buy another one. These little white LED strips, I did those at some point. I don't remember when, but those, I'm still not sure if I fully like the look of them. They were kind of meant to be when I have my bumper put on, my fabricated bumper, that they would kind of appear underneath and do either through or just backlighting the bumper. So on their own, I don't know too much. My original plan when I ordered them was to put them in like here as also like Raptor lights, but I didn't read the measurement on them when I ordered them. I just saw I bought these at O'Reilly's. I forget what the problem was with putting them somewhere else. I just wasn't able to fit them in elsewhere without it looking strange, so I just put them there. On a side note that I thought was really funny was there's some guy somewhere here in the Monterey Salinas area that's copying me. Because when I had my truck, I put on the 3 ambers, and a week later, I saw another black Tacoma, same year, same make, model, everything, year, with ambers. And I'm like, oh, cool, another guy. He probably did it already. Probably wasn't me. But then I put the white lights on. A couple weeks later, same thing. I saw the same guy, because I remember license plates. Same guy. He had those whites on as well. So he must have looked at mine and thought, oh, they're cool. I'm going to do the same thing. Put the whites on. Then same thing when I got a snorkel. Same guy put on a snorkel as well. After I did my $60 budget snorkel from eBay. Same thing. I don't know if he's put these on yet, but we'll see. One of my friends a while ago called me up saying, hey, are you driving right now? I'm like, nope, I'm at home. He's like, really? Well, I just saw a truck that looks exactly like yours with a guy that looks exactly like you driving in it. I'm like, oh, okay. So at some point, I got to meet this other guy who's got, I don't know if he actually looks like me or if my friend's just dumb or what, but we'll see. We'll see. Or not dumb, blind, but whatever, same thing. Anyway, On the front, oh yeah, with these lights and these lights, Bob and I also rewired the turn signals into the DRLs, so the daytime running lights will function the same as the turn signals, and as well as everything else I've shown you. I will show you those in just a minute. So if Bob, you want to go ahead and grab that GoPro and then join me inside the truck, we will show some other cool things. So I will go ahead and show you guys how it looks when we turn it on. So first things first, we put new belts in here because it used to squeak terribly when the AC was turned on when we used to drive, but it always used to squeak even just when we first turned it on. So that'll be the first thing you notice when we turn it on, is that it doesn't do that anymore. So yeah, it sounds so much better now. I'm going to switch on all my lights at this point and show you kind of exactly. So I just turned on the ambers and the white, or the whites then the ambers, showing how you just kind of switch it off and on again to switch it. Yeah, this is the radio. It is a, I can't see the oh, it's a JVC. Okay, yeah, so it's a really nice radio. I also put these buttons on. They're buttons, knobs. They're kind of the third gen style of knob. The old ones, I'll show a photo of what the old ones used to look like. I think I prefer these. I don't know. I'll have to look at a comparison, but I do believe that I prefer these. Other than that, I don't know if you can actually see the, oh wait, I gotta turn this music off before it gets me demonetized, even though I'm not even monetized yet, but before I get copyrighted. I don't know if you can see the rock lights turning off and on underneath, so I will show you that with the GoPro, because it is hard to see in the daylight. It's right up under there and underneath the frame as well. So these I mainly just use for camp lights. I don't really use them for rock lights, but you can. As we're down here already, you can obviously see the Icon suspension that I put on. That is the Stage 3 Icon Vehicle Dynamics suspension with the rear add-a-leaf spring. So these all have the remote reservoirs attached on back and front. Another pretty obvious change here would be the camper shell. We got that from a guy on Craigslist, a really nice guy, for $350. I don't know if I have any photos of what it looked like when we bought it, but it was the old Toyota pickup green. And the reason why it doesn't look like it actually belongs fully is because it is from the Toyota pickup, not the Toyota Tacoma, which I actually really like the look of it better this way, because with the Tacoma version, it fits perfectly flush to the cab, which makes it almost look like a really long 4Runner. So I really like the look of it here. It definitely looks more like a Tacoma with a proper off-road camper shell. Same with the roof rack there. That's supposed to be like a 4Runner roof rack that we just got on Craigslist as well for $100. It's a like 6 foot by 3.5 foot or 3 foot top on it, which fits perfectly on top of this roof rack that we got. And I think it looks awesome, even just for being like a cheap product that you can just get on Amazon. Inside, we put on this red LED that we put LEDs in both the map lights in the front as well as the dome light in the top, but I put a red LED that works on the door panel light because I really like the look of red, both look-wise, and it just functions better for if you're camping. You can find gear way easier at night. Red, it kind of penetrates through the darkness a little better without blinding your eyes and making it so that when you get out, you can't see anything. So it works really well for finding gear at night. You can see the front lights flicker when the truck is not turned on. I don't think that one actually works either, but they flicker when the truck is not actually turned on because Toyota decided to not have an active electrical. They decided to have it go through the body ECU or the computer of the truck. That basically made it to where you don't have live electrics unless you actually manually wire a live hot electrical wire into the truck, which is what we did for the red one. So only the red is live hot while the truck is off. So if you left your door open overnight, it would die. It would kill your truck. But it turns off within like 20 seconds of your door being closed. Also inside, I have this Garmin GPS, which I do not know which model it is. I got it from a friend for $10, but obviously that's not what it was. New. I got this Amazon CB radio. It was cheap. It was like this Luton brand. It was like $30. I haven't installed it yet. I just have it sitting in here loose, but it plugs into the cigarette lighter, or you can wire it directly in, and the antenna is also on the floor there. Other than that, interior modifications, I have this Molly panel. It's just a plastic Amazon like $10 Molly panel that I got. All it really does is hold my knife. Yeah, so those are the WeatherTechs. They are very dirty right now, but they're very good. As you can see, they are dirty, but the floor is too. But usually it's not. I had those out, and the last time I washed it, I accidentally dropped some dirt into the carpet and haven't gotten a chance to vacuum it. So trust me, the carpet's not dirty under there because of the WeatherTechs haven't not ability to. It was my fault for messing it there, but they do a very good job. As you can see, the door panels are off, and I will explain that in just a little bit, but not yet. Today's weird. It's going in and out of the sun appears, then it goes away, then it appears again, and it goes away. So I like on and off glasses because when it's cloudy, it's not bright enough for glasses. But yeah, so wheels obviously right now are just the stock Toyota Steelies, but I do have black Rhino rims, but as explained in my trip to Montana video, that shows why I don't have those on right now, which if you haven't seen that video of my trip to Montana, it's not titled The Trip to Montana. It is my last video, What Happened to Me. So Go ahead and check that out. That explains a lot of this, actually. That's why I'm not touching up on the suspension too much, the icon, because I talked a lot about that in the other video. Plus, it's suspension. Most people don't fully understand it, or, yeah, it's suspension. It's cool. But I showed you, and there's not much else I can talk about other than how smooth it is. But I'll have to do a completely separate video on that, actually driving it and showing you how smooth it is. Other than that, really the main reason I wanted to wait for my tires to put on the nice rims is because I want to get bigger tires. I want to get 33s. And I don't want to put on 31s on the nice rims when I'm just going to get 33s on the nice rims at some point. So, yeah, that's why. Other than that, I don't think I've done anything except for, obviously, bumper stickers. But I'm not going to show you all my bumper stickers, except for, the Ginger Billy Truck Gang. And, oh yeah, wait, I'll show you the most important ones are the three right here, but mainly the top and bottom ones, because top one, that's mine. That's Crossroads Coffee Company, which if you haven't checked out, link in the description, go check it out. And Arc Expedition Outfitters, that is Paul's business, which I am helping a lot with, and those two are our businesses that we're both helping each other with and both working together on building. And then XO Ranch, which was a big part of this past year. So kind of just small things. I Line-X'd my fender flares, but they are, as you can see, fading again, just because of daily use and pressure washing from cleaning. Same thing with the mirrors. I Line-X'd those, but they're also fading from pressure washing. My eventual goal is to custom fabricate a bunch of things. So the door panel that I showed you, I want to custom fabricate aluminum door panels for those, get better speakers. I did put in crank windows, so I'm going to build custom handles for the crank windows that make it look really nice and easier to crank than the Toyota plastic ones. Did that just because I'm not a big fan of technology, as you guys know, and even power windows are, I don't know, I just like crank windows. They're cool, and if I'm trying to get into my vehicle or open the window while my truck is off, you can't do that with power windows, at least not on the Toyotas. Your car has to be on to actually open your windows or close them. So if I turn my truck off and go to get out and then I'm like, oh crap, I left my window open. Oh no, now I gotta start my truck again and close the window. So crank windows are just better in my opinion. But custom fabrication, going to custom fabricate fender flares, front bumper with a Warn winch. I had thought about getting a cheaper winch to start off with, but I'm just going to save up for a Warn. It's so much better, much more worth it. If I'm going to be spending, look, those Warn winches are expensive, don't get me wrong. They're out of my price range right now, definitely. But so was the suspension a year ago, and then I got it a couple months ago. So it was still expensive, to me even, but I saved up for it, and it was so much worth it, rather than getting a cheaper one to begin with and then getting it 10 years down the line. Is save up for it if you really want it and go for it. I mean, it's so much, it's going to cause you so much joy if you just go with the one you want, rather than saying, that's a lot of money. I could get everything done cheaply rather than getting one expensive thing. But don't do it. If you want a really good build, save up for the expensive things. So I'm going to do a really nice custom bumper, Warn winch, really nice custom fender flares, all four, custom door panels. Going to do a custom Molly panel interior system going around the radio that mounts like radios and all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to do custom runners, rock sliders along the side that I might even have steps. I'll explain all that later in a future video when we actually get closer to doing it. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool fabrication. And then I'm still deciding on, here's a big project that I'm thinking of doing, is camper. Obviously, I still want to use this truck as a daily, so I don't want to do something too huge. So I'm debating. I have two options. I either build a easily removable camper that goes in the bed, or I do an easily removable camper that I do a whole flatbed build that actually makes it way easier to remove. And that's what I'm leaning towards, is doing a flatbed build with my truck, with basically just take off the bed and completely rebuild it as a flatbed, with detachable rails that also, double as ramps and whatnot, and then a detachable camper that just bolts on whenever I want it, and I can just jack it up, unbolt it, drive out, and be done with it. Yeah, so ultimately, and then for tires, going for 33s of either Generals or BFGs, BF Goodrich. Most likely I'm going to go with the BFG KO3s just for daily driving, and then when it's ready for expedition times, when we're actually going to go on overlanding trips, then go with the General ATXs or the X3s, depending on the trip. So there is a lot that I still have to do. Oh, my number one thing that I forgot to tell you, number two actually, of plans that I have, 4-wheel drive conversion. I'm going to put a 4-wheel drive in this thing. It's going to be epic. It's going to just run so much better while off-roading. There's a lot that you can do with the 2-wheel drive, but a 4-wheel drive just makes it so much better, of course. Then I'm going to put in some power brakes. If you don't know the company Power Brake, definitely go check them out. They're awesome. Delon Murphy, great guy, also a South African. I love him. He's amazing. But yeah, link in the description for that as well, of course. Just look in the description. I have a bunch of different things that I'm just going to shove down in there. Companies that I'm going to be using, that I have used, and probably some people you already know. But anyway, I think that is everything. If you guys have any thoughts of things I should do, let me know down in the comments. If you did like this video, please leave it a like, consider subscribing, and leave a comment telling me how much you love it or how much you hate it. As always, my name is Liam. Thank you so much for watching Outdoors with Liam, and we will see you all in the next video.